There is a new guy in town, Funky Mints, and they are shaking up the filament market a bit. Hey guys, how you doing? So I received two rather unique rolls of filament from Funky Mints in East London for about 150 Rand or around $10. You get a roll of filament from Funky Mints. It's an ABS filament and it's 150 Rand or $10 for the roll. So this is how the Funky Mints roll comes. It comes in clear plastic with no spool or anything like that, okay, and then they are attached via cable ties. Now this one I'll re-cable tie to demonstrate the whole process to you, but I am really excited about this filament. This filament has come through to us from Funky Mints down in East London. They're a new production line. They're just getting themselves rolling. They've had a lot of help from people around the place, which I'll mention shortly. And this filament actually prints extremely well, and I am super impressed with it. It comes with a couple of new innovations that I think that are really impressive and just out of the box thinking. While we're talking about out of the box thinking, why don't you guys consider subscribing to the channel? We do weekly tips, tutorials and reviews on this channel. So if you are new here or if you've been here before, consider subscribing and click that notification icon to get the latest videos, latest information and latest news that I can give you. A little bit difficult in South Africa sometimes, but we'll try our best. Okay. So who are Funky Mints? Well, Funky Mints is a plastic company. They've been around for quite a while, quite a number of years, and they're quite adept at plastic and working with plastic molding and stuff like that. So what they decided to do is to get into the filament process because it falls in line with exactly what they're doing at the moment. So I spoke to Jens and he told me about the company, and they've got 5 production lines already, or 5 lines running, creating filament full-time, and a 6th one is coming online shortly. These are currently only making ABS, but he's going to branch out into PETG, into PLA, into HIPS, and that kind of thing. So, you know, there are other filaments coming from these guys. And at the moment, the variation is a little bit limited, where you've only got the ABS in a couple of colors, but the colors are funky, like this one here is called Burnt Orange. He was going to change the name back to orange, and I said to him, don't. You know, you need to keep these funky names, like the yellow, which is like such a bright yellow. It's a lovely, vibrant yellow that is called banana ripe banana. And I think that's wonderful. You want to get with these little quirky ideas and all that sort of thing. So speaking of quirky ideas, they came up with the help of some friends. Now, Jens asked me to mention these guys' names to thank, and you know, he said, it's your channel, it's up to you. And I think it's actually such a nice idea that he takes the time to thank the people out there, the community, part of the 3D printing community, to give them a word of thanks for all the contribution they did in building up and testing and helping with the spool, which we'll get to shortly. So I'm going to quickly take the time just to quickly mention these guys' names. Only a few guys, so bear with me, right? So the people to thank are Rudolph, Jaco, Davy, Alzane, Kevin, Kellen, Wayne, Michael, Hannes, Tyrone, I hope that's pronounced right, and everyone else from the Funky Mints Inner Sanctum. Jens sends a huge thank you out to you guys. So if you guys are watching, hit a like and give me a comment down below that you saw your name being read. But guys, really well done on this innovative idea that you guys have done. So as I said before, you get the roll of filament like this with some cable ties on it and some shrink wrap plastic around it. And then what the idea is that you print your own spools. So you download, if you go to check out their website, on the website over here, you'll see that there's a type A, a part A and a part B of the spool, spool A, spool B. And these, you download these files and you print them yourselves. They are working with some of the makers in the regions that are going to help them create spools for people who don't have any filament or are getting new into machines and not ready to print their own spools. But I love the idea of printing my own spool. So if you check here, here's 2 quick time lapses of me printing part A and then printing part B. So yeah, these are really This was really exciting. It was fun to print them out, and it's innovatively designed. Now, why it's innovatively designed is that these spools are reusable. So they screw apart like this. And if you look at the spool A over here, there's these grooves over here. Those grooves aren't for aesthetics or anything like that. This is clever designing. What it means is you take your roll and you line your cable ties up with those grooves. So it slots in there nicely. Otherwise, so when you offset it, it makes it not easy to go. So if you line it up with those grooves and you line up your cable ties with those grooves, it keeps everything in alignment, makes it easy to slide it on. And I think that's innovative thinking. That is good thinking. You know, it's not just making a spool for the sake of making a spool. Now, you do not want to cut these cable ties until you've got everything on here. That's why those ridges are there. You slip your filament on, okay, with your cable ties still on, and with them still on, you then screw on this part, your part B. That goes nice and tight. You tighten that up. Before you cut the cable ties, get your end and loop it through one of these things, because you don't want to get spaghetti at the end of the day. You don't want that coming out and creating spaghetti. Once you've done that, let me find my cutters. You then carefully cut the cable ties, not to cut your filament. 1, 2, and last one, 3, and then you pull out your cable ties. And there you have your roller filament ready to print. And that's clever, guys. That's clever. And also, you know, you once you finish with this, you don't throw away the spool. You unscrew it, you put another roll of Funky Mints on there, and away you go with your printing again, which I think is really an innovative idea. It's helping the environment. It's just all around clever. I also thought of another idea which I've passed on to Jens, and he's gonna think about it, because you know, a lot of companies, they give you black spools or clear spools or whatever, but because you're designing your own, you can get a little bit innovative and inventive here. So all of my clear spools, my transparent spools, are going to be ABS. Then I will print all my PLA in a different color, like red or orange or green or whatever, and I'll print them in a different color. So at a glance, when they're all standing there in their packets, because I keep them in packets with desiccant inside there just to keep them dry, while they're standing there, you know what is ABS, you know what is PLA, you know what is PETG, all that kind of thing. So you make your spools match up to your filaments, which I think is a good idea. We'll see how that goes. So I will be doing that when I get some more filament from them. I'll print the color spool for that plastic, and all of my whatever, I don't know, orange spools will be PLA. So or green for supposedly green. Although Jens will have a lot to say about that, about the biodegradability of PLA and how green it actually is. But we won't go there for now in this video. So I've done a couple of test prints with this filament. I've printed out the obligatory Benchy, of course, and the Benchies came out really nice, really good quality. This one I smoothed using the method of acetone. So I used acetone to smooth these out, and it looks really nice. It actually looks almost like a cast pot because it is so smooth. I went a little bit overboard on the smoothing with this. I left it in a little bit too long, so I'm still experimenting with that, but came out beautiful, exactly what you expected. And then the raw filament comes out here. It's nice and strong. There's no weak layer lines. The printing temperature of this filament is a little bit on the high side. It's 250 to 260. That's what they recommend on the little label that they give you with this. So yeah, I printed this one at 240 and this one at 250, and they came out fine, but I think at 260 I'll probably get a better result. So I will be experimenting with different temperatures, and that's a good thing for you to do as well. Experiment with different temperatures and see how well they come out. And even if you look at the overhang here, absolutely gorgeous. There's no sagging at all. I printed this with no fan. I used the Vision Miners nanopolymer to stick it down to my bed because I don't have an enclosure, and I got no warping, nothing like that. This wasn't even printed with a brim. It's just printed straight on, and I've got a tiny bit of warping on the one end here. If I'd put a brim on, probably would have been less warping. So, but I'm not using an enclosure. None of my printers have enclosures, so this was open air at 250 on this one here. And when I printed it, I just printed with with no fan. So I turned the fan off and it worked perfectly. The nanopolymer held it down really well. This nanopolymer is also something else, and really complements this ABS. Guys, I think that's about it. I can talk about Funky Mints. Just go and check out their website. Go check them out. Support them, especially if you're in South Africa. Support them. But support them internationally as well, because I think these guys are going to make a bit of a mark on the 3D printing world with their filament that is well priced. And also, if you buy, I'm not exactly sure what Jens said, but go try it out. There's a code in the description below, Fusion Source. If you type that code into their website when you order it, you get an additional 10% off their price. So I think it's the first 30 people who buy. But go and check it out. Go and click on that. Go put in the Fusion Source there. It also supports our channel. Even if you don't get the discount, please put in there. People can see that they came from Fusion Source when they were buying. So it supports the channel. And I really want to give a thanks to Funky Mint for supporting the channel. And I will see you soon. These videos on the screen now contain more information about 3D printing. And click and watch those videos now. And I will see you there. God bless. Stay safe. Stay well. Thanks for watching.